Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Health Show. I am your host, Dr. Ikram. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the responsibility of a program host to make the guest as much comfortable during the program as much as he can, so that the conversation may be a productive one. That's the reason that you are experiencing a change in the language medium of the program. Let me assure you this is a temporary change, and if you are having any difficulties, I apologize for that. Today we have with us Dr. Susanna Fayak, who is a nutritionist, also a master's in physical activity, and she's right now affiliated with Dow University of Health Sciences here in Pakistan. She's also known all over Facebook as Dr. Zoo. The topic that we'll be discussing with her today is about how we should spend our free time or leisure. Let's talk to her.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ikram. It's been a great pleasure to be back here and be your guest and talking about my favorite issue. And how should we spend our leisure time?
Yeah, that's one of the most important questions we have.
Yes. So,
Susanna, over the time, I've experienced that frustration is quite commonly seen within our nation, and things like people are intolerant of others' behaviors. Is it so that we are not utilizing our free time or the free space that we get for ourselves in the proper manner that we should?
well, you are saying something which I cannot agree any more than what you're saying. It's true, because if you've been doing something productive, you have no time to be frustrated and being, drawn in by those negative feelings. So yes, so a lot of people are being frustrated and feeling stuck, and they just can't get out of it, so they stay there and blame and start being frustrated and angry, and just start talking and bad mouthing and getting kind of sucked into the negative feelings. So yes, it's a lot of things can be done about that.
So it's not wrong to say that our behaviors or bad habits are building up into stress.
Yes, basically that's what happens. I would say that today something came to my mind when I woke up and said, your actions will show what is your priority in life or what do you value. So if you don't do anything, that means that you don't have any value. So you can choose to have different values and start doing something, and that will show up in your action basically.
Sure.
And that your health, of course.
Susanna, you had experience with a lot of different nationalities. I would
Yes.
like to ask, what's your analysis about the Pakistanis on a national level?
It's very interesting. I mean, culturally, I've been living in an Islamic country in Malaysia. I've been involved in elite sports, and a little bit more of a sporting culture can be seen. However, it's still not the level as it should be. A lot more people are walking. However, there's a lot more space needs for people, and a lot more people need to be getting used to that others are exercising in parks and maybe on the street. What's wrong with walking on the street? So I believe this is a culture which needs to be set in people's minds, that they get used to seeing people actually doing physical activity on the street. And among the, one of the programs I initiated here is walking on the beach. So people get used to seeing other people walking and running on the beach. So they get used to this new culture. So they probably, hopefully, gonna join in, and it's gonna be something new, normalcy set in.
So that we give more time to physical activity.
Yes, and when you actually do that, your frustration level drops greatly, and you will just not have time to be angry because you're doing something about your own health. And I believe that should be the highest value today, is your own health. If you don't have your health, you got basically nothing. So
Sure.
Stuffing yourself up with food and watching television at home with all the soap operas and being hypnotized by basically watching television.
That's a very important point. Susanna,
Yes.
most of the people, I think nights were made to sleep.
Yes,
Nights were created to
absolutely.
sleep. And when I take a look at the people around me, most of them stay awake
Yes,
throughout the night even,
yes,
just to watch TV.
yes.
Don't you think that's something really hazardous that we are doing to our health?
Yes, it is very true, and some people don't understand why are they doing that. So let me have a little bit of enlightening on that. What is happening? when somebody really hates the present moment, what is happening right now, they are going to basically start watching movies where they can put their own emotions into the television set itself. So imagine a human body sitting in front of a television and all the mind is actually displaced onto the screen, and they are living
detached from themselves.
Yeah, they detached and they are living emotionally whatever is happening on the screen. So if it's a love movie or a romantic movie, it's a lot of women watch that because they are craving for that. A lot of men with frustration and anger and releasing, they will be watching thrillers and shooting movies basically to release that.
They start becoming more aggressive.
So basically once this is happening, the person feels a temporary relief of their mind chattering, that little voice chattering, so it stops for a moment. But once the television is stopped, it all comes back. So they keep watching until they are so zombie, basically, that they can actually fall into sleep. So that's basically about the present moment, and let's face that. What are those things what the person is not accepting about the present moment? And this is when they put their mind into the television and that they get actually hypnotized. Now that is very dangerous because a lot of the commercials have their subtle, messages which will actually train your brain.
Embedded messages within them.
That's right. So that's what actually happening, that you are training your brain basically not knowing about what you're doing. It is doing it all on its own. So yes, I would highly suggest to turn off the television and watch only educational programs and start doing something else. And if you get yourself tired, and if you have 5 hours to watch television, that means out of that 5 hours, at least 45 minutes a day can be spent to physical activity. I don't care what time that is. It will make you tired, so you will be actually sleepy.
So then on the other side, whenever we talk about holidays or a day off from work, first thing that pops up in our mind is that in the morning, we will wake up whenever we want to.
Yes.
What would you like to say about that?
Well, if your body slept enough and it slept in the hours which it normally meant to, between 10 a.m. and 6 a.m., and you can see how our circadian rhythm is made up by our hormones, you're supposed to be sleeping at night. And if you miss that, basically your sleeping hormones will spill over to the morning and you will sleep until noon, until your body got enough. So you wake up and you're going to be a zombie. So it will be very difficult to get going unless you put a coffee into yourself or a large, very strong tea to get you going.
You'll have to start your mind again.
Yeah. So let me give a little tip. If you wake up earlier and you look into a light, and even if especially sunlight, you will wake your body up very, very fast. So this is how you can actually override it. Within a few minutes of a time, you will wake up. So if you know that initial waking up time, it's only temporary of a 3 to 7 minutes, then you just get over it, go with the ride and get up. So you should be waking up in the morning when the sun gets up, normally. And if you are able to do physical activity in the morning, that would be a great jump start of the day. Even if you are doing at home with some yoga, some sun salutations, some walks, anything to do to get your body going. And it's the best way actually to lose fat is doing morning physical activity on empty stomach. Big glass of water, get ready, go, do 45 minutes walk. Do that.
Susanna, at this point, I would like to stop the conversation temporarily. Audience, we are going for a commercial break. We will be right back after a short break.